Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. Today is Monday, so I'm doing weekend sales. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. That was yesterday. And so I just have Saturday and Sunday night sales to wrap with you, or probably not wrap because I don't want to bore you guys. I think it was about $400. I'll put the gross pay here. So I'm just going to show you because it's a mishmash of things. Half shoes it looks like, and half just, you know, whatever. So I'm going to tell you what sold and how much it sold for, basically. So you can get a good idea if you are thinking about becoming a reseller, or maybe you are a reseller. Certain types of brands, I mainly pick up bread and butter, and so these brands will be hopefully a little educational for you to keep an eye out. Okay, so the first thing that I sold on eBay was this pocketbook. I've had it for about 2 months, and I had it listed for $60 and it sold for $60. And so this is the website right here. Hopefully I'll be able to find it again. A couple months ago I did, and I think they retail for double. So they are just vegan, you know, not real leather. They're vegan leather, and it is a beautiful tapestry beaded kind of vacation vibes, if you will. I feel like this is a very good vacation bag. It is large enough if you wanted to use it as a travel bag or your carry-on, I mean, for you know, an airline trip. So it's a very good size bag. It has a zipper back here. Oh, and right here, and it does have beadwork. It's flawless, and there's no odors. You want to be careful when you are purchasing secondhand bags, totes, whatever, luggage, that you give it a smell test. It doesn't smell questionable. You don't want it to smell like smoke or pet. You want to make sure that there's no wear on the corners, that the feet are not all scratched up. Unless it was obviously designer, then people do tend to buy, you know, they take it as a challenge and then they make it look new again. But just, you know, bags like this, you would just want to make sure that you pick them up in, you know, almost new condition, let's say. So I purchased this bag for $2 and I sold it for $60. That is gross pay. And that sold on eBay within a couple months, which was quite nice. All right, the next thing I sold for $20 were these one pair of undies, and these sold on Poshmark. And honey love, if you've been on YouTube or social media, you know they sponsor a lot of people. I found 2 pairs of underwear. These are just, this is one, and I have another pair, but I think they're thongs. It's just the crossover brief, and I picked these up. I picked two pairs up, obviously new, never open, and I picked them up for $1, and I have them listed, I think, for $25. I took a $20 offer. I will put how much they retail here from their website. $20 seems like a lot for one pair, but I guess compared, you know, it's not. Well, it is, but all right. Next was a bathing suit that I sold for also full price. I had it listed for $40 on eBay, and it sold for $40. And this brand, it's 40i. This brand is Adore Me, and I do have a haul coming up where I purchased about a dozen Adore Me bras in the super large sizes like this. And more swimsuits are coming out. Instead of small, medium, large, they're coming out like with a bra size, which I think is fabulous. And so this is just an Adore Me, very pretty kind of, you know, lingerie inspired swimsuit, one-piece swimsuit. Beautiful. And I'm not sure how much they retail for. I'll Google it and I'll put it here. But so yeah, I listed it for $40 and I sold it for $40. All right, next is a Chico's net top, and someone came right out on eBay and purchased this for $49. I had it listed for $49. It sold for $49. I generally do not get $49 for Chico's items, but because I guess this was new with tags, it retails for $109. It's size 2. They use vanity sizing, and generally I also don't usually pick up size 2 anymore, but I just thought this was a little unique and different. I picked it up also a couple months ago. It's kind of like a soft knit, maybe over a swimsuit, you know, or whatever, you know, cruise, travel. It is new with tags. It's a size 2, size large. New with tags, listed it for $49 and sold it for $49. And I was happy that I got full price. Obviously, full price is awesome on eBay, but I'm happy that I didn't take an offer. Last week, someone on Poshmark, I don't know if for any of you guys that are resellers that sell on Poshmark and eBay, I sell more items on Poshmark at a lower dollar and less items on eBay for a higher dollar. But at the end of the day, because I just did my taxes, at the end of the day, I am selling, last year I sold over 700 items on Poshmark, and I only sold 420 on eBay, if that tells you anything. And the price is pretty much the same. But on Poshmark, again, I had this listed for $49. I probably would have let it go for $35. I paid $5 for it, but someone offered me a $10 offer, and that it seems to be the amount that people like to start on Posh. And if I'm listing something for $49 and someone offers me $10, I don't have the time to barter back and forth. I know that's Posh's kind of model. They want you to, but I have so many different things going on in my life, and I don't have that time to go back and forth. So normally if someone gives me a offer such as $10 on a $50 item, I don't want their business. I'm not going back and forth with them. So I, just ignore, and then you get a few days later, you usually get an $11 or $12. Again, you could ignore it or block them or however you see fit personally. But yeah, I just don't entertain, lowballers, because I myself would never lowball somebody like that. So anyways, besides the point. Okay, so then so I was happy that I did not take and barter, because I sold it for full price on eBay and I only had it for a couple months, is my point of rambling on. All right, the next item that sold on Poshmark for full price again is $50, and these are dance goes. I will put them how much they retail here. These Mary Janes do retail for I think over 100, and I use Doc Martin leather cleaner, and they look gorgeous. So I cleaned them up, really fabulous looking, took good pictures, no heel drag, and I sold them for full asking price. Okay, next I have a pair of Cole Haan shoes. I had them listed for $60. I've been sitting on them since last year, so I let them go for $40. Someone offered me $40, and again, I polished them all up. Cole Haan shoes are not cheap. I will put how much they retail here. And these are just like blue suede with a brown leather. Had them listed for $60. Someone offered me $40, and I took it. All right, next was a bundle sale on Poshmark for $40. Again, these are two items that I've been sitting on. So if I'm sitting on something for a length of time, then I'm more willing to go lower and still make a little bit of profit, because my time is worth that. If you're out thrifting and sourcing not for yourself, that's work, going through every single size. And sometimes it's fun, but sometimes not fun. So that's work. And then coming home, detagging, washing, steaming, photographing, editing, listing, like that is actual work. So you need to account for your work, your time, basically. So Vanity Fair is a brand bra that a lot of people like, but they usually, even though they retail for $48 at like Kohl's or Belk's, people on the secondhand market are generally, again, $10 offers, even if it's new with tags. So I don't pick up Vanity Fair, and I haven't for a couple of years. So I know that I've been sitting on this Vanity Fair for at least a couple years, because I stopped picking up this brand a couple years ago because it just won't sell. So someone bundled that with these new with tags Coldwater Creek hunter green pants in size 16 large. Retail for $79.95. Someone bundled these with this, okay? So the retail in this says $80, the retail of this says $48. They offered me $40 for both, and I did take it because I've been sitting on them. I paid $5 and $2, so I do have a $7 investment. And Poshmark takes a 20% commission. So when I say that I got $40, I didn't actually get $40, but I sold it gross for $40. Okay, so two more things, guys. I sold the Victoria's Secret bra. I had this one listed for $30 because it's just very unique. I think it's for like maybe a fancy, like a prom dress or something. Very low cut plunge, but also padded, a high lift. It is underwire, and it is called their plunge high lift bra. And this is size 38 double D. And I love it because it has like that rubber right there that kind of keeps it in place. I had it for $30. Someone came and offered me $24. And for me personally, I have found that sales bring sales. So I know a lot of people disagree with that, but just from my own personal experience, I find that sales bring sales. So I did end up taking it. And then a few minutes later, I did get another sale. So I also sold on, let me see, was this Poshmark? Yes. These Birkenstocks, they're the Buckleys. They're very sought after. I think they retail for like $160 or $170, or maybe it was $150. I'll put it here. I forgot, but I did list them for, I don't know how much I listed them for. I'm gonna have to check. Maybe they just sold full price. Someone came and bought them for $70, so I had them listed at least for $70. So they probably retailed for $140 or $150, because when I do find a style like this that are in really good condition, I list it for 50% off. So yes, when picking up Birkenstocks, you do want to make sure the stitching's good. You want to make sure that the bark isn't lifting from the leather. Unless you know how to fix that with shoe glue or whatever, you have to leave them behind. So these are really good condition. The fake ones don't say Berkey. So again, or Burke, I guess, not Berkey. The authentic ones say Burke. And they are all made in Germany. You want to make sure. You just want to make sure that there's no nasty footprints in there. You want to make sure that they are in excellent condition. And so that's probably why I got 70. So that is all my sales that I have for you. I'm going to wrap off camera so I can keep this little video at 10 minutes. And thank you so much for watching. How were your Easter sales, guys? Comment below. Bye-bye.